Alright everyone, welcome back.
おそらくわしに対する牽制なのだろうが、千両。サーバントを抱え込めば込むほど、あれは多くの魔力を聖杯から引き出す。起動式から魔力を受信する小聖杯ならではの魔力補給だが、流れてくるものは魔力だけではない。あれはサーバントを生かす限り変貌を早めておるのだ。わしが手を下さずとも、じき理性を食われ、理想通りの道具になろう。
The old mage laughs, staring down at the suffering girl. There is affection in his eyes. He does love. His experimental subject has exceeded his expectations and will soon bless him with his long-sought immortality. How could he not love her? In the old mage's eyes, Sakura Mato is a beautiful bride. No matter how she struggles, she will become his. It doesn't matter that she's collecting power, controlling more servants, and attempting to preserve her sanity. 11 years ago, Zokin obtained control over Sakura's fate. All it would take for the old mage to kill Sakura is to blink. But the White Skull is different. As an ominous symbol and a gust who carries death, he is sensitive to others like him.
魔術師殿は軽視しているが、さて。
Will this go as well as he hopes? The situation will not change even if the girl loses her mind. That thing reacts to hostility and bloodlust. In that sense, the girl raving beneath them will be no different even after she loses her sanity. Zokin Mato is conceited. Assassin doubts that the girl will be as obedient as Zokin thinks once her reason is gone.
魔術師殿、真実、あの娘を御しうる方法があるのだろうな。あれの外敵に対する防御本能は過剰に過ぎる。理性をなくし、敵味方の判別がつかなくなれば、魔術師殿の声も届くまい。そうなっては殺気を消す程度では近寄れん。あれは自分を殺すという結果を先読みし、外敵を排除する類のものだ。
ほう、なるほど、それは頼もしい。器としてますます安心できるというものよ。
The old mage cackles. The White Skull watches the crumbling hall in silence. To be honest, he does not agree with the mage's thinking. His goal may be immortality, but something seems twisted about his course of action and his methods. No, he has always been a rotten human being. It's natural that the old man would be a maniac, but there doesn't seem to be any consistency to his methods.
聞いたか、アサシン。助けてください、おじい様と。よいぞ、その愛願、11年前に帰るようじゃ。世界そのものに否定される圧迫、さぞ苦しかろう、さくら。だが耐えよ。お前の体は耐えられるとも。思い出すがよい。11年にわたる孤独の日々を。何千という攻め苦に耐えたのは何のためだ。何万という虫どもに体を預けたのは何のためだ。そうだ、その程度の痛みお前には何ら問題はない。そのように育て上げた、そのように鍛え上げたのだ。
Apparently the old mage can hear what the girl is saying. Assassin only hears her agony, but she does seem to be begging her grandfather for help.
おお、助けるとも助けるとも。お主はわしの作品じゃ。最後まで見届けて死んぜよ。いやいや、だが助けられるのは肉体だけじゃ。11年の鍛錬において、お主の精神だけはついてこなかったからの。そう、受け入れることで苦痛から逃れたお前では、その怨嗟には耐えられまい。だが安心するがよい。肉の頑強さだけはわしの保証付きじゃ。耐えられる。お主の肉ならば見事にアベンジャーを待とうであろ
う。The old mage keeps laughing. Assassin steps back, watching heartlessly.
ん？どこに行くアサシ？万が一ということもある。お主にはあれからわしを守ってもらわねばならん。
それは構わんが、黒い聖杯ばかりにかまけ、白い聖杯を自由にさせるのはどうか。 ようやく手に入れた正当な聖杯をなぜあのように遊ばせておく。
おお、そのことか。何、イリアスフィールは我らに協力的じゃ。もとより聖杯として門を開けるためだけに存在する娘、その目的が果たされるのならとおとなしくうなずきよったわ。そういぶかしがるでない。お主の求める聖杯はあちらの娘だ。歴史に名を残し自らがオリジナルになる。記録としての永遠を望むウヌの願いはアインツベルンが叶えてくれよ。だがそれにはあの娘に本来の姿になってもらわねばならん。わしはホムンクルスは管轄外でな。あやつらが清掃を整えるまでは好きにさせておけばよい。
無理強いはしないということか。だがそのような余裕が我らにあるのか
な。あるとも。もはや我らに敵はいない。エミヤの小せがれと遠坂の小娘が生きておるのは意外じゃったが、どうということもなかろう。あれほどの力の差を見せられ歯向かうようなバカ者はおらぬ。そのような杞憂で事を急ぎイリアスフィールに死なれでもしたら取り返しがつかん。天の門を開けるはあやつの責務だ。我らは慈悲をもってその仕事を全うさせてやればよい。アサシン。
そこまで。どうやらそのバカ者がいたらしい。
ん？
The white skull disappears a moment later. The killer sensed intruders and didn't hesitate to leave the castle. The enemy has already left the building. They slipped through the careless old mage's grasp and are headed for the castle gate.
おお、どうあっても死にたいというのか、小僧。
But he isn't careless. No matter what happens, he will not let Ilia's veil escape. In essence, the long-held wish of the Einzberns had been placed on her shoulders. That pale girl is willing to cooperate with Zokin even without his urging. And they think they can take her and leave? How laughable. Once she leaves the forest, Ilia's veil will surely reappear in the core of the Holy Grail, where it all started.
ああ、家に放任していたのだが仕方あるまい。出番だぞ、さくら。イリアスフィールなくしてお前が救われることはない。その苦しみから逃れたいのであれば遠慮せず蹂躙してくるがよい。
The old mage cackles, and then his presence vanishes. A shadow crouches in the hall. The shadow have covered the entire hall. It is a black swamp and two bodies appear in its muck. The girl feels no pain. She hasn't gotten accustomed to the poison. All she can think is,
そう、来てくれたんですね、先輩。
her dark joy overcomes her grim suffering.
あの神父さんも一緒なのね。バカな人。自分から食べられに来るなんて。
She lifts a finger. It points towards the castle gate where the intruders are desperately trying to escape.
言って。先輩以外は殺していいわ。他の相手が誰であろうと問題なく切り殺しなさい。
She unleashes the dark giant. Her hunting hound roars and storms off to the
もっ
distance.
とも今のあなたにはその相手が誰かなんて判断はつかないでしょうけどね。バーサーカー。
She giggles. Cloaked in shadow, the girl slowly leaves a ruined kingdom with her dark knight. We get to the forest. We're in a circular clearing in the vast sea of trees. The castle I saw through Ilya's eyes towers over the forest just as I remember. There's no sign of anyone around. It's strange that there's no guards on the castle walls to say nothing at the castle. I can't turn back now just because this might be a trap.
琴峰、あの木から2階に上がれないか。
Even if they know we're here, it would be suicide to go through the front door. I need to do whatever I can to get inside, even if it might not work.
そうだな。侵入するのなら水路を使うところだが、
そんな悠長な真似が通じる相手ではなかろう。城に入った時点で侵入は悟られる。直接イリアスフィールの監禁場所に乗り込み、有無を言わせぬまま脱出したいのだが、さて。
The priest thinks aloud as he gazes up at the castle. He narrows his eyes, seeming to peer through the walls, and examines each window carefully.
驚いたな。本気で侮られているようだぞ、エミヤ。
Kotomina smirks. I dot my ears. This might be the first time I've ever heard him sound so delighted.
なんだよ琴峰、なんか見つけたのか？
見つけたとも。時に一つ尋ねるが、登山の経験はあるかね、エミヤシロ。
まさかあんた？
無論フリークライミングだ。垂直だがオーバーハングはなく、凹凸は十分にある。この壁なら足場は確保できる。道具はなくとも登るのはたやすい。な。
Kotomina places his hand on the castle wall without waiting for my opinion. I guess we're just climbing it now, huh? Then he just starts climbing it, sticking to the surface like a spider. He isn't going very fast, but his ascent is sure and steady.
何をしている？ポイントの確保ができないのなら見て真似ろ。4回程度の壁登りができぬほどやわではないだろう。
A mere 4 stories, he says.
ああ、それと黒剣は置いていけ。帰りに拾っていけばいい。
With that, the priest keeps climbing.
本気で言ってんだな、あの野郎。
I drop the sword Kotomina lent me and approach the wall. He must have picked an easier section of the wall to climb. The surface is uneven, and I find a place to grab onto. Free climbing is about more than just muscle strength. You need to judge whether your next handhold is safe or not, whether a depression is deep enough to support your weight, whether you can use it to make it to the next step. And when climbing a nearly vertical wall, you're basically making it up as you go along. You could be a meter from your destination, but if you can't find your next handhold, you'll have to go all the way back down to the ground and try a new route. Finding a way to the goal. Only experienced climbers have the skill to constantly scan 2 or 3 steps ahead while scaling a wall. And I'm definitely not experienced, so all I can do is try to imitate Kotomine. One slight misstep or failure to judge my strength could send me careening to the ground.
信じられねえ。普通素人にやらせるか、こんなの。
I grumble while I climb. It's a crazy plan, but not totally reckless. Normally, you'd only climb walls like these when you're more than halfway to a mountain summit. And climbers need to worry about more than just climbing. Just as the deep ocean is inaccessible abyss to humans, high altitudes are also sacred ground that we can't enter. At 6,000 meters above sea level, oxygen becomes critically thin and untrained climbers can't last more than a few hours. They'll suffer from nausea and dizziness, which will progress to cerebral edema before culminating in death. A mountain peak is an airless hell that becomes harsher the higher you go. Plus, the extreme cold. Even the slightest scratch on frostbitten skin will lead to necrosis. Climbing in such extreme conditions means you have to worry about your bodily functions steadily declining as you ascend. Compared to the harrowing ordeal that real climbers face, scaling a castle wall doesn't sound impossible at all.
言っても
It's still hard. All I can use are the very tips of my fingers. I cautiously scout out the thinnest of lips or crevices I can use to support my entire body weight. He's asking me to keep up with him on a climb only an expert could do?
待て。移動した。上かと思えば下か。エミヤ、3階の窓まで下がって中に入れ。
この無茶言うなよな、お前。
Do I look like a lizard to you?
琴峰、窓あるぞ、窓。
構わん。ぶち破れ。
この衛星神父、こんなんなら最初からな。
It would have been way easier to climb a tree to get inside, you moron. I break into the castle. I shower at a window and dive through it, all in the same motion. I hang from the wall with both hands and swing my body like a pendulum to bust through the window with my legs. I roll on the floor and onto the extravagant carpet. By the time I swung my legs down, most of my body was already falling. If I had been even a tiny bit late kicking in the window, I might have kicked off the stone wall instead of fallen 3 stories on my back.
3階の高さで頭から落ちれば死ぬぞ、普通。
Breaking the glass with my legs and rolling into the shards was dangerous, but I chalked it up to it as an acceptable risk.
シロ、
Oh, great. For an instant, all worldly trifles vanished from my mind.
イリア。
I even forget that I'm deep in enemy territory. I recalled the events from my backyard. Ilya said farewell to me with such a forced smile.
呆れた。なんで来たのシロ。もうあなたの出番なんてないのに、まだ無駄な努力をするつもり？
Her voice is stony. She's making the same cold expression she did when we first met. I'm used to it. I should be used to seeing her like this, but...
まだわからないの？さくらのことは私に任せればいいの。これは私の役割なんだから。シロはおとなしく家に帰って。
バカ。後始末が役割なんて言うな。
I lose my patience and slap Ilya's cheek.
シロの無礼者。レディの方を叩くなんて紳士じゃないわ。いくらシロでも私にこんなことするなんて許さないんだから。
許さないのはこっちだ、バカイリア。男だったらげんこつで殴ってるぞ、この不良娘。
My blank mind suddenly flares with irritation, even though I'm happy to see Ilya.
何よ、私怒られるようなことしてないじゃない。私は自分の役割を果たすためにさくらについていっただけよ。それが一番いい方法なんだから、シロに文句を言う資格なんか。
うるさい、そんなものを知ったことか。いいか、イリアの役割なんて俺は知らない。俺はただ勝手に出て行った不良娘を連れ戻しに来ただけだ。イリアがどんなに強がってどんなに平気なふりをしていても騙されないからな。イリアが少しでも嫌がっている限り絶対に連れて帰ってやる。
強がってるって何よ。私は嫌だなんて思ってないわ。この体は聖杯として作られた。あいつらのために鍵になるのは尺だけど、それで聖杯の力を使えるようになればさくらだって。
それが強がってるって言うんだ、バカ。いいか、聖杯なんてどうでもいい。イリアはイリアだ。イリアがイリアのままでいたいならそんなことはほっぽっといていいんだ。自分以外の何かのために自分を犠牲になんてするな。
I look away. Ilya bites her lip for a second.
それはシロだって。
She whispers something I didn't quite hear.
いいわ。仮に私が嫌がってるとしても、それがどうだっていうの。私たちじゃさくらには勝てないし、逃げられない。私をこの城から連れ出すことは不可能よ。だから条件も好きにさせている。シロだけならまだ見逃してもらえるけど、私と一緒じゃ絶対に森からは出られないわ。
Her scarlet eyes urge me to leave. Ha! Yeah, the choice is easy. We're bringing her home.
それでも連れて帰る。俺は一人で帰る気はないからな。
There's nothing to consider. Right now, this is the only choice that exists. Ilya doesn't say anything. She gazes at me with an absent expression. I take her defenseless hand.
行くぞ、イリア。見つかる前に家に帰ろう。
I pull her close and start walking. She's small and terribly light.
呆れた。シロには何を言っても無駄ね。
Ilya doesn't resist, tottering along with me.
本当にこんなのうまくいくはずないのに。
She happily clasps my hand in return.
何を悠長にやっている。
And then, Kotomine jumps through the broken window, his coat fluttering.
琴峰。
Ilya lets go of my hand and scores off against Kotomine.
待った、イリア。そいつは味方だ。 今回だけ協力することになった。即興の味方なんだ。
嘘。シロったらこんなやつと手を組んだの？ダメよシロ。こいつは。
無駄話は後だ。追いつかれる前に外に出るぞ。
Kotomina moves in a flash. Before I can react, he scoops up Ilya in his arms and dives out the window.
イリア
I panic and run to the window. Kotomina has just landed on the ground. As soon as he touches down, Ilya wildly waves her arms and slaps him across the face. It's a pleasant sound that I can hear from up here. Wait,
感心してる場合じゃない。要するに飛び降りろってことかよ、あいつ。
there's no time to doubt myself. If I can pull off the landing, I'll survive somehow. I charge my legs with as much magical energy as I can manage. I can't magically strengthen my own body, but it should lessen the impact. Ow. Nope, bad idea! I jump from over 20 meters high and drop into a row when I land. 3 stories doesn't sound like much until you consider how tall this castle is. It would have easily been 8 stories in a Japanese apartment building.
いた。おてん飛び出すかと思ったさ、今の。
Damn it, my legs were too numb to stand up. Luckily, I landed on grass. If this had been asphalt, my bones would have broken out of my legs and then I wouldn't be able to get out of here.
びっくり。シロ、丈夫だね。
そうだな。あの高さから何の魔術講師もなしに落下とは恐れ入る。やけか？
Both of them are staring at me. Ilya aside, Kotomina's words nearly make me forget about my numb legs.
叫んな。お前が飛び降りたからああするしかなかったんだよ。俺だってこんなのは二度とごめんだ。普通足折れてるし、飛び降りた瞬間なんてめまいで失神しかけたんだからな。
だが5体満足ではないか。文句を言われる筋合いはないが、しかし確かに驚きだ。よくあの高さから飛び降りようなどと思えたな。いかに魔術師とはいえ、魔術講師なしで飛び降りようとは思う前に。
He did use magecraft. I mean, they left me behind. I couldn't let Kotomina show me up after he jumped out there with Ilya.
シロのせいじゃないわ。シロは体だけじゃなくて心までアーチャーの影響を受けているのよ。だから体だって丈夫になってるし、あの高さなら降りられるってアーチャーと同じように思っちゃったのよ。
イリア、今のどういう。
なるほど、それは頼もしい。戦闘面でその強気を発揮してくれ。そら、お前の剣だ。
He tosses me the weapon I left behind when I started climbing.
走れるな。ここからは命がけだぞ。
Kotomina says that we don't have time to stand around talking and makes for the castle gate. Then, as if issuing a challenge, a different sound shakes the wintry castle.
やっぱりまだこの世に留めてたのね、さくら。
Oh man, big boy on campus is coming. It's unmistakably the roar of a predator. It signals that a beast is on the hunt. It is a death sentence handed down to the lost prisoners by the kind and merciless lord of the castle.
まさかか。
My mind switches over to battle mode. Berserker, he said. The name invokes the image of a threat that still threatens me. It squeezes the karma of every last cell of my body.
ことに。
引くぞ。戦ってどうにかなる相手ではない。追いつかれれば殺されるだけだ。
Kotomina runs ahead to the gate.
振り返るな、イリア。諦めろ。バサカは以前とは違う。
I take Ilya's hand and start running. I can't afford to save my stamina anymore. If that mad warrior is the one pursuing us, then the only way to survive is to run as fast as we can for the 3 hours it takes to reach the edge of the forest. Oh my god, 3 hours. My breath catches in my throat. We're being overtaken by darkness I can't ignore, no matter where I look. We run through the forest. I can't see anyone behind us yet. All I hear is the wind gusting by. Our pursuer is a titanic beast, not a hound. While we have to dodge between the trunks and branches, it closes in on us while tearing apart everything in its path. You'd think we were being chased by a giant drilling rig, boring its way to the forest. The jet black wall slowly accelerates, threatening to close in around us. Slow my pace to match Ilya's. This is bad. The hostile wall is about as fast as me. If I have to run while carrying Ilya, he'll definitely catch up to us within a minute.
まだ追いつかれたわけじゃない。背中に乗れ。イリア一人ならどうってことない。
バカ、どうってことある。そんなことしたらすぐに追いつかれるってわかるもん。
What should I do? Should I keep running with Ilya or should I fight that monster? I couldn't even defend myself against Assassin. Could I possibly go toe to toe with that monster, the strongest servant with nothing more than a borrowed thin sword? I can't. Stop. Give me a break. There's absolutely nothing I can do to beat that monster. If I stop, I'm dead. I'll be killed for sure. If I face the monster, it'll chop my feeble body in half, and it'll stomp my still conscious torso to smithereens like an industrial grinder.
その必要はない。イリアスフィールは私が運ぶ。
Ilya and I turn around. We don't have time to stay surprised. Kotamina comes all the way back to us and picks up Ilya in his arms without further ado. That works. He's fast. Kotamina must be in great shape. With his height, he should be able to easily run while carrying Ilya. But we're in the middle of a forest. With both arms occupied by his charge, he navigates the uneven terrain and thick trees without slowing down at all.
コトミネ。
I run after him as fast as I can. I keep up with him. Unshackled, I run next to Kotamina who's carrying Ilya. I managed to cover 100 meters in 7 seconds in the forest that's so easy to trip on. My heart beats at a rapid cadence. Something's wrong. I'm running too fast. No human can run through a forest at nearly 50 kilometers per hour. My legs throb. My wrapped left arm feels odd, like it's swollen. Especially what Ilya was talking about. Archer's physical functions are taking over Shiro Emiya, not just his combat experience. It's a radically potent muscle-enhancing drug. The poison is injected into my body, giving me powers beyond my own. It's good. Even if it's like shaking a Geiger counter to try and make it not detect the radiation leak, I appreciate it right now. But not Kotamine. He's not showing any sense of magical energy output or magecraft usage. It's hard to believe, but he's sprinting while carrying Ilya without the aid of any magecraft at all.
おい、あんた本当に人間か。
Fair question.
お前ほどではない。それより気がついたか。この速度を保てば逃げ切れるぞ。何しろあれは目が見えぬようだからな。
目が見えないって追っての？
そうとしか思えん。速度ではあちらの方が上だ。森の木々などバーサーカには小石程度の足止めにしかならん。にもかかわらず追いつかれないのはあちらに何か欠陥があるのだろう。
Kotamine explains calmly. It bothers me that he can look so bored talking about something that should have us jumping for joy. That means
逃げ切れる。あとは俺たちの体力次第ってことか。
いや、逃げ足だけで勝ち抜けるほど甘くはないようだ。
his voice drips with hostility. Before I understand what he means,
アサシン。
my left arm twitches. I see a white skull. Like a rapid slideshow, Assassin flits in and out of the trees on a path parallel to ours, seemingly mocking our escape. By the time I notice it, it's too late. Assassin makes a subtle wave with his arms as he slips in and out of the trees at high speed and... Someone blocks the attack before it can skewer me between the eyes. I gasp. Only one person could have done that. Kotomine deflected a throw that I couldn't even see, all the while carrying Ilya.
目障りなやつだ。手が空いている時は現れぬくせに、忙しい時は呼ばずともやってくる。
Kotomine slows his feet. The priest frowns with displeasure, watching the dark killer keeping pace with us.
琴峰
イリアは任せ代わりにあれを任されよう